This is a true horror experience of a pregnant woman and her partner check into a hotel room on the 5th floor during the Chinese New Year festival. Chinese New Year festival is a time of celebration and homecoming. When Miss Kun and her partner, Mr. Neng, began their journey back to her hometown in central Thailand. Miss Kun was 4 months pregnant. The trip was meant to be joyous, as she would attend a family blessing ceremony. But behind her smile, there was turmoil. Neng, her boyfriend, had demanded that she terminate the pregnancy. She refused. The tension between them grew heavier with every mile. Midway through the journey, their car broke down. Every hotel in the province was full. The festive season had filled every room. Desperate, Kun called a friend for help. By chance, the friend reached a young man named Mr. Auf, who worked at a local hotel. He said there was only one emergency room left, not usually for guests, but they could use it for the night. He warned that the floor might be noisy. A Chinese tour group had just checked in. A agreed. It was late. They were exhausted. When they arrived, the room on the 5th floor looked ordinary enough. Clean sheets, dim light, a faint smell of detergent. But the atmosphere between them was anything but calm. An argument erupted. Cruel words, thrown objects, and silence that could cut through glass. Neng hurled a pillow in anger. It hit Kun square in the face. Tears welled in her eyes, but she said nothing. She turned her back to him and tried to sleep on the far side of the bed. Neng lay on his back, seething and exhausted. Somewhere between 1 and 4 a.m., the noises began. Doors slammed. Footsteps echoed down the hallway. A woman's faint muttering floated through the air, soft but insistent, like someone whispering through gritted teeth. Neng sat up, irritated. He shook Kun awake and told her to call reception. She did. The staff on the other end sounded puzzled. "I'm looking at the CCTV now," the receptionist said. "There's no one on the 5th floor." But the footsteps continued. Frustrated, Neng opened the door and looked out. The hallway was empty. No movement, no sound. Just a row of locked doors and flickering fluorescent lights. He shut the door and returned to bed, trying to convince himself it was nothing. But then the sounds returned, louder this time. Footsteps moving from door to door. Knocks. The same muttering voice repeating 4 or 5 phrases he couldn't make out. He lost his patience. Storming to the door, he shouted, "Stop walking. This is a hotel, not your damn house." His voice echoed down the hallway. He cursed in English for good measure before slamming the door shut. When he lay down again, something cold brushed his ear. A sudden gust of wind that shouldn't have existed in the sealed room. And then, a whisper. Not beside him, not behind him, but inside the pillow beneath his head. "Where's my child?" Neng bolted upright, drenched in sweat. The voice had been close, too close. A woman's voice trembling with grief. He clutched the pillow and threw it across the room. Kun stirred slightly. but didn't wake. Minutes crawled by. His heart refused to slow. Eventually, exhaustion dragged him back down. But as his eyes began to close, the sound of the door opening snapped him awake. It wasn't the hallway this time. It was their door. Standing in the doorway was a woman. Her hair hung in tangled strands, her head tilted at an unnatural angle. She half walked, half floated toward the bed, her eyes fixed on Kuhn's sleeping form. "Where's my child?" she whispered again and again, each word breaking between sobs. Neng wanted to move, to shout, but his body was frozen. Sleep paralysis gripped him tight. He could only watch as the ghost crouched beside Kuhn, her fingers trembling inches from the pregnant woman's stomach. Panicking, Neng tried to pray. His lips barely moved. When that didn't work, fear twisted into rage. "Leave us alone," he spat, voice trembling. "Don't you dare touch her. Don't you ever be reborn." A woman stopped. Slowly, she turned her cracked face toward him. Her eyes were hollow. Her mouth stretched wide, splitting into a scream that had no sound. In an instant, she lunged forward and landed on top of him. He couldn't breathe. Her icy hands pressed a pillow over his face. The weight felt real, crushing, suffocating. His lungs burned. He flailed weakly but couldn't move. Darkness edged his vision. Just before he lost consciousness, he gasped out one final plea. "Father, Mother, help me." Then, faintly, voices came from the hallway. Footsteps, people talking, the sound of life. The pressure vanished. The pillow fell away. Neng sat up, gasping for air. The woman was gone. He shook Kuhn awake, his body trembling uncontrollably. She thought he was joking until she saw the color drained from his face. Within minutes, they packed their things and checked out of the hotel before dawn. At a 24-hour diner nearby, Neng recounted the nightmare. When he described the ghost's voice, Kuhn went pale. She asked softly, was she wearing a red dress with white polka dots? He froze. He hadn't seen clearly, but somehow he knew she was right. Kuhn's voice shook as she revealed her dream. The same woman had come to her in her sleep, crying and asking, "Where's my baby?" Kuhn had told her the baby was still in her womb. The woman had replied, "I was 4 months pregnant too, but he killed me. I'm still looking for my child." When they called Alf the next day, he sounded confused. No other guests had stayed on the 5th floor that night. All keys were still locked in their blocks. Then, an older housekeeper overheard and hesitated before speaking. She said the woman they described sounded like Miss Roan, the head maid who had worked at the hotel for years. She'd fallen in love with a regular guest. One day, she returned from leave, wearing a red polka dot dress, planning to tell him she was pregnant. But the man denied responsibility. They argued violently, and in his rage, he pressed a pillow over her face until she stopped moving. She was 4 months pregnant. Though they tried to save her, she died in the hospital that same night. Her relatives, afraid of her becoming a restless spirit, performed a ritual to separate the unborn child before cremation. Now, her spirit wanders the hotel, searching, forever asking, "Where's my child?" She often appears to pregnant women who are in distress, especially those with partners who mirror her pain. The tragedy of Miss Rune is a chilling reminder. Spirits bound by sorrow do not fade with time. They find reflections of their suffering and return to seek what was taken from them. If you enjoyed this true Thai horror story, subscribe to Tale After Dark for more chilling tales every week.